I think three main things that I always repeat to myself is always be positive and attentive, always want to help. And the second one is remember your job, that is to help people. It's not just to get a transaction and automatically the transaction happens when you're helping people. And the third one is that talent is not important if you can work hard, because even the best sport personalities in the world, they're all going to say to you that without the sacrifice and then the work ethic, they wouldn't get anywhere.
Welcome to Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. I'm James Short, and this show dives into the real stories behind the agents and the leaders shaping our industry. No polished highlight reels, just honest conversations about what's working, what's not, and how they're building businesses that actually grow. Each episode, I sit down with someone in the trenches, top performers, rising leaders, business owners who've cracked the code and others still figuring it out. We unpack the wins, the failures, the habits, and the lessons you can put to work straight away. Before we dive in, can I ask a favor? And please subscribe or follow on the platform you're listening or watching this. The more we grow, the bigger impact we can have together. And thank you. Let's get started. Welcome back to another edition. And today we are very, very fortunate to have an up and coming superstar in the making, Tom Agmon. 3 years real estate experience, started as the sales associate to the principal at Ray White Mount Gravatt in Queensland. And now he's his co-agent. Last year, they did a record last financial year with over 72 sales and gross commission, and we're on track to smash the record again this year. Tom grew up in Israel and moved to Australia 10 years ago, and I'm looking forward to unpacking his journey with you all today on the show. Thank you, Tom, for joining us.
My pleasure, James. Thank you for having me.
First question, mate, straight off the back, why real estate? What got you started in the game, in the industry? Take us back to those starting days.
A lot of people fell into real estate. It wasn't my case. And I came to Australia 10 years ago. I was working in various different jobs. And I think the main thing that was missing for me was the ability to develop a long-lasting relationship with people and actually feel like you're making a difference. And as much as you have a lot of glitz and glamour in real estate, in the end of the day, it's about helping people.
Love it.
And whether it's to buy, whether it's to sell, and whatever you do, but that's what drew me into real estate.
Yeah. And so being in the industry for a few years now, what have you noticed as some of the big changes? What have you noticed as some of the things that has really helped you to hit those records?
I think what I brought with me into real estate from previous jobs as well was the work ethic and attention to detail. And I wouldn't say personality, but it's more of like the emotional intelligence, ability to understand what people need. And in those 3 years, when I interviewed a few different offices to start working in real estate, the main thing for me was to find an office where I can have a high-performing agent I can learn from. And that has a process, not someone with a flashy car and great personality, someone that just did it for a very long time and did it successfully, but also stayed consistent. But then I was told before I joined into real estate that real estate agents are very consistent with being inconsistent. And I didn't want to fall into that trap. So during those 3 years, we're an auction business. So we run probably 99% of our properties to auction, and usually 2.5 or 3 week campaign. So I had to learn, obviously when you do the course for real estate, they don't teach you much at auction, they just teach you private trading. So I had a lot to learn. I made a lot of mistakes and a lot of embarrassing moments and a lot of failures, but I guess
that's how you learn, right? I love hearing that. I love hearing the work ethic. I love hearing emotional intelligence. I love hearing surrounding yourself with other peak performing agents so you can learn what those skills and what those traits are. I love the consistency. So multiple different things you're sort of going tick, 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 which is a huge game changer for anyone listening, because it's such important when you are starting into your career around that, is to surround yourself with other successful people. How are you finding where you guys are at the moment? How has the market been, and where do you see it going over these next little while?
Yeah, so we're operating out of Mount Gravatt, and we service in Upper Mount Gravatt, Wishart and Mansfield. That's the main core area we have, but we go outside as well and serve other suburbs. What I saw in the last 3 and 4 years, it's a very high demand, and whether it's school catchments, proximity to the CBD, or just a good community to live in, a very high demand and a very low supply. And so we're always tracking how many open homes we have over the weekend and how many properties being sold in the last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months to understand, obviously, the supply and demand, because that's essentially what's driving real estate. And as much as global crises drive the market in a way. But I think if there's not enough houses to sell, and large groups of buyers interested in buying property, it's ended up driving the prices up. So I think that's what I've seen in the last 3 years probably. And I don't see it changing anytime soon because we're pretty dense area already, and most of the areas don't zone to be redeveloped to high rises, so it's kind of just switching one owner with another, so it's going to stay the same.
Now, I love talking to guests around mindset, about what helps them with keeping their mind on track and focus, and what are some of the things that they've learned around their own mindset. So if I was to ask you, what could you share around your own personal mindset that helps you to stay on track and, as you said, do the consistent activity? What are some of the tools, maybe strategies or techniques that you use with your own mindset?
Yeah, brilliant. And look, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but they always say win in the morning. And they say, you want to start your day right. So I usually start my day around 4:30. So I wake up, and obviously reluctantly, but I think there's a lot of things you want to do and you need to do. And if you're not going to do them first up, you're probably not going to get to them, because then you have a vendor that wants to have a meeting after work, different type of meetings, and friends want to catch up, and you go home to your family. So I usually start 4:30. I'm going for a walk with my wife and my dog. Then I go to the gym, and then when I finish at the gym, I usually just have breakfast and head over to work. I do sometimes mindfulness meditation in the morning just to set the brain to the right frequency. And that's helped me to have that mindset that I'm getting to the office and I already know that I've done all the stuff that might distract me from doing my job in the best way. And my mindset is, I think, three main things that I always repeat to myself is always be positive and attentive, always want to help. And the second one is remember your job, that is to help people. It's not just to get a transaction, and automatically the transaction happens when you're helping people. And the third one is that talent is not important if you can work hard, because even the best sport personalities in the world, they're all going to say to you that without the sacrifice and then the work ethic, they wouldn't get anywhere.
That's three key pieces right there, and I think everyone listening to that can really take away some great insights there. As we move into an interesting time within the industry with things like AI and enhancement of technology, where do you see on the industry level the involvement of tech and AI coming into your day-to-day operation? Is it on the forefront of your mind, or is it a one-day thing, or where is it for you guys in the office at the moment?
I think it's here to stay. I think AI, again, I'm not into AI as much as I should be, and I'm probably not an expert, but a lot of people compare it to the internet. They say it's the biggest invention since the internet, and I think for the right reasons. Like the other day, I just put a few sentences into ChatGPT and asked him to generate an image, and within 15 seconds, I had an image that would have taken me hours to do. And I think it's going to make a lot of people's life very easier, and I think it's going to be able, us as agent, to give a better service to our clients, and definitely going to help with prospecting. A lot of people look at the internet as the enemy, and we're just going to take away the time, we're going to take away jobs, but I think there's a lot of opportunities hidden with those changes that are happening in the world, because whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. It's too big to fail. But that's my opinion.
Fantastic. Where do you have some exciting projects coming up that you may be working on over the next 6 to 12 months, maybe you personally or as an office?
Yes, always. So as an office, we obviously want to expand our market share. The idea, the more market share you have, your ability to grow as an office, as a team, it's important. But also, if your business doesn't go forward, it goes backwards. So growth is important, and not from greed or anything. It's just because if you're already doing good, you should do great. And so that's for us. We want to expand with that. But also, I think, me personally, I'd love to do an auctioneer license. So I've already signed up for that. And the main reason I want to do it is I'm an auction agent. So it will help me to serve my clients better. But also because English is my second language. And I think all the learning process and failing to a couple of auctions, as much as I prefer not to, but I think it's the only way I'll be able to. It will teach me a lot, and a lot of valuable lessons, but also give me a lot of life skills and professional skills.
Definitely put into the hot seat when you get out there and do some auctioneering. That's for sure, which will definitely help with those skills. Tom, on that show, we have our 60-second quiz to find out more about our guests. Are you willing to play?
Yeah, of course.
All right, here we go. Favorite movie?
Favorite movies I had one. I love movies, but I'll go with Lord of the Rings.
Love it. Favorite food?
Have to be pizza.
Nice. Favorite holiday destination?
It's a bit broad. I'm probably going to say Europe, but probably Italy and Greece.
Beautiful. Do you have a biggest regret?
Probably my biggest regret would be not working on my mindset when I was younger. I was a semi-professional athlete, and I think I would have made it professional in playing soccer, football. And if I'd actually put in the right mindset and the right training into it.
Okay. Do you have a most embarrassing moment?
I have plenty. I actually thought about it recently. And on the first day that I went door knocking, so I do a lot of door knocking, but the first day I went door knocking for my boss, I was really distracted. I just reversed my car into the neighbor's car. And he was standing on the driveway. And I was so distracted from the situation. And then I went door knocking. It was a property we were selling off market. And I actually door knocked the house I'm selling as well. So it was like all in one. It was pretty embarrassing. Never happened again since. But it wasn't fun.
Oh, dear.
I went home with the tail between my legs.
That's a good learning experience that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You shared with us your morning routine. Do you have an evening routine?
It depends. I think it's kind of fluctuated. I usually do martial arts at evening. But if I do take a break from the martial arts, I'll play tennis or do something else kind of once or twice a week. But usually I'll go home, I'll do an afternoon walk, my wife and my dog, and then have dinner. And usually I'm pretty early to bed, so around 8:30, 9 o'clock probably. Depends if I'm busy.
Nice, nice. And now, if you could choose to have a dinner with 5 inspirational people, who would they be? They could be dead or alive.
5 people. And I'd say David Goggins, definitely one of them. Always love his mindset as well. And The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, absolutely. And I've always said I would love to have dinner with Ronaldinho. He was my favorite footballer as a kid. And I think I need to choose another 2. One of them would be Denzel Washington. It's my favorite movie guy. And fifth one, I'm probably going to be my granddad. That's my granddad when I was too young. I was 12, and he was a pretty remarkable man, what people told me. And so I wish I was adult enough to have a conversation with him.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Now, if you were Prime Minister for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
I wish you could change something in one day as a Prime Minister. And maybe, I don't know, say, eliminate CGT.
Yep.
I don't think it's happening there anyway.
Yeah, cool. Interesting. All right, fantastic. What would be your best piece of advice for the listeners?
I think be grateful, be kind. In the end of the day, you choose how you feel and you choose how your life looks like. And if you're too focused on helping other people, you don't have time to feel sorry for yourself or for your life circumstances. And it actually feels good helping people.
Definitely. Now, if you could choose a next guest to be on the show that you do know, who would that be that you think they would be a great guest to have on the show?
Next guest. Do I have to know them personally?
No, not necessarily.
I actually saw that question. I can recommend it actually would be a good guest for you to have, because none of my friends have been on a podcast. So they might have an interesting story, but I don't know if they're definitely fitting for a real estate podcast.
Nice.
He's done one podcast before, and it was pretty good. I think that you have a lot to teach the young generation.
Definitely, definitely. Fantastic. Now, where can the audience follow your journey, reach out and find out what's going on for you?
Best place would be either on Instagram, just my name, Tom Agmon, or LinkedIn. So I'm pretty active on both.
Fantastic. Tom, really appreciate it. So good to hear, so good to find out what's going on with you being in the real estate industry, and you're definitely a mover and shaker. So thank you for your insights, your knowledge, and good luck for the rest of the year.
My absolute pleasure, James. Thank you for having me, and I wish you all the same.